No better time than now to give you the recruiting report tonight right here on Sports Talk. It is brought to you by Seawells, where tomorrow, Chris, you ought to come into town tomorrow, and since you're going to be the big dog on Sports Talk, be the big dog over at Seawells. It's a roast beef Friday.
I know it is a big day, and I was actually considering it because the Carolina Panthers are having one of their events over at USC tomorrow. They're doing a Play 60 deal where some of their players are coming down, and then they're also going to the South Carolina Department of Juvenile Justice, I believe, tomorrow as well. So the Panthers are actually going to be in Columbia.
Super.
You know,
That's right next to my house at DJJ.
They've kind of forgotten about South Carolina in the last couple of years, so it's good for them to realize that, hey, there might be Panthers fans south of the border as well.
Josh, did you just say you used to live at DJJ?
I live about a mile away from DJJ on Broad River Road.
Okay, I got you.
Yep.
I misheard.
Well, I mean, my dad worked there, so. Yeah, Platt Dickens.
Did he carry a little something on the hip? He carried a little piece of metal on the hip?
No, he was a teacher. He was a teacher there. Yeah.
Bro was a teacher?
You didn't know that?
I mean, I knew he was a teacher. Didn't know he was a teacher there.
He was like a principal there. Yep.
And now he's a restaurateur.
Grouch's Deli in Blythewood. Come see us.
There you go. That'll be $5,000 for that plug, by the way. Yeah, I'll look for the check in the mail. Seawells, it's a roast beef Friday tomorrow. That's to be celebrated. It's 11 to 2. You don't want to miss it. I'll have to miss it. Chris, you shouldn't miss it. Josh, you need to get over there so you don't miss it. We encourage everybody to turn out for a roast beef Friday. And for the very best in the catering business, that too. The folks at Seawells, been at it for nearly 80 years, so they know what they're doing, and they do it extremely well. And their phone number is 803-771-7385, online at SeawellsCateringSC.com. Clemson offensive line coach Matt Luke was in Brookline, Massachusetts earlier this week to watch offensive tackle Hardy Watts, 6'6", 285 in a workout. Luke was one of several recruiters to drop in at Dexter High as the team held an open practice to give the coaches a closer look at some of their talent. The biggest draw was Watts. He said it was a great experience, great to work with his guys, helping his guys get recruited. After the workout, he met with Luke, and his family came in and met with Luke as well. He also talked to coaches from Alabama, Duke, Michigan, Boston College, and they are all telling him, that they want him, that they need him, and there's a spot for him on their respective offensive lines because he's a versatile offensive lineman that makes him very appealing to these guys. So the problem is, and this is where Clemson is a little bit stubborn, they only do 1 weekend of official visits. Dabo Swinney didn't want to do summer official visits like people started doing. He wanted to stick with the traditional in-season official visits. But he eventually came around to having 1 weekend for all his official visits in the summer. I mean, if you can make it work this way, it's a great plan. But, there are some players who have other things going on the first weekend in June, the last weekend of May, that spills over in the first weekend in June. And since you're only having 1 official visit weekend, you're not going to have a chance to get these guys in any other time in the summer. That's the situation here with Watts. He's got something going on with his school that weekend, a conflict. And so he can't make it. He might come in for a midweek if possible on an unofficial and kind of turn it into an official, or he might visit for a game this fall. So, Clemson kind of rolling the dice here that their appeal will stand out and keep them in the hunt here as he takes other official visits. Now, he hasn't set up any other official visits just yet, and he's talking to a number of schools. He plans to set these official visits in the next week or so. He's been to Clemson once before. He was there for a spring practice on March 24th, and he was really impressed. He said, quote, "I really love Clemson. I love what Coach Swinney is about. I love what the message is from the staff and what the program is about. Clemson itself, the campus is absolutely beautiful, and the guys in that locker room are amazing as well." So that's what he had to say about Clemson. He said he would love to commit by the end of summer. but he called that a soft deadline. A lot depends on when he's able to visit Clemson. If he has to wait until the fall, then he would push that commitment date back to give him the chance to visit. That's assuming he doesn't go ahead and commit. Like he said, when it hits him, it hits him. That's assuming he doesn't go ahead and commit prior to. USC and Clemson target offensive tackle David Sanders of Charlotte going to visit Georgia again this weekend. So he went out to Nebraska last weekend. This is an unofficial. Georgia's having this thing called a scavenger hunt, where they bring in recruits, and I think they place bags full of money all around Athens. Yeah. And no, we're just kidding. Georgia would never do that. They
supply them with the cars to speed around town to find the bags of money too.
I'm telling you, I don't want to say anything like that about our neighbors to the what are they? Kind of towards the northwest. But, it's Georgia, so draw your own conclusion about what they're looking for. I mean, I'm sure they're not looking for Butterfingers in brown paper bags, I'm sure it's a little bit more substantial than Milky Ways and Butterfingers.
Skittles.
and extra cheese Doritos, Anyway, he's going back to Georgia for another visit this weekend. And Heathwood Hall cornerback Onis Konanbanny, he was offered by Auburn. And there you go with the recruiting report tonight here on Sports Talk. Try to keep you up to date with things on our website, sportstalksc.com, and on our Twitter, use the hashtag STRecruiting.